The new 2x Kyo character, Akali, is finally out, and she's very easily one of the most fun additions to the roster of this game. And in this video, I'm gonna help you to start with her and give you an overview by talking about 5 things that you must know about her and her game plan to get started and have a ton of fun, and also maybe steal some wins here and there. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we have to talk about is going to be Akali's movement. And the reason for this is that since she's a ninja character, a lot of her best options to play neutral are just going to be movement based. Like she has a really good backdash, a super fast run, which is really strong for a character that is mix-up heavy, right? To just get in. And then she also has a double jump. You can use it to bait anti-airs and stuff like that. And you have your teleport, which is down S2. And if you do down forward S2, it can cross up. So it's going to be really important to get used to mostly kind of like playing neutral with these movement options, getting dash blocking with your super, fast run, then bait anti-airs with a double jump, or by doing a jump into smoke. Let me show you actually because I have it recorded. If you put people into doing 2H on training mode, for example, and you jump into teleport, you can actually punish an anti-air. So it's going to be really important with a character like this to kind of like get used to stuff like this, in which you're going to use mostly movement options to either get the space and essentially get in, or bait anti-airs, right? Stuff like that. Because the other options on Akali's kind of like special moveset are not necessarily designed to play neutral. You do have this, which is kind of like a mid-range poke, is S2, and then you get the smoke in, and you have S1, which is a neutral skip, but it's not necessarily the best neutral skip in the world. And at the same time, it doesn't give you the biggest reward. You can hit confirm it into another hit and then maybe, get a combo route out of it. But it's not going to be the biggest damage. It's also going to leave you with that assist to just get the full combo. So I would say that the best way to play neutral with this character is to just abuse her movement options, the double jump, the backdash, the super fast run, the teleports. And of course, if you have an assist that can help you to play neutral, you should be using it. And especially if you want to just do S1 to neutral skip, you should be ready to just do S1, your opponent blocks it, and then you put your assist to help you essentially not lose your turn or don't get punished. So try to get used to all the movement options, the backdash, the run, the double jump, and also the teleport, because they're going to be really important, and it's kind of like make or break for this character to actually be able to use them effectively. And also, as an extra note for this section, you do have fireballs, okay? If you do down S1, you have kunais, which are essentially fireballs, and you can also use them to, for example, bait anti-airs. You can do a jump into a fireball, and it actually stops Akali's momentum in the air. So it is really important to have it, and you can also use it to punish people whiffing anti-airs. For example, like we put Yasuo to do 2H again, and we can do like double jump into kunai, right? And it says punish on the screen, and you can hit confirm it into, for example, let's say an assist, right? If I actually hit it, I'm sorry. There we go. And you can get a full combo route out of that. So it's going to be really important to also use these fireballs, but I would say that they are not as strong as just using your base level movement options, because they're going to be much more effective to get in and get free combos and basically free pressure, okay? So try to understand this mixture of options to play neutral, but really focus on the movement options. They're arguably the strongest things that Akali has in her moveset to play neutral. Okay, now the second thing we have to talk about is going to be Akali's Smokescreen. You can get this by doing charge S2, and it's essentially going to put the smoke in, and when the smoke is on the screen, Akali actually is a completely different character. Like, she's so much better when the smoke is actually on the screen, because she gets enhanced special moves. And for example, when you don't have the smoke, you cannot do multiple teleports one after the other. You have like end lag, after the teleports. The same for the one in the air. But if the smoke is in, she can actually cancel teleports into each other. So this is insane, because it gives the character very big mix-up potential, and at the same time, nobody's going to be able to block all of the mix-ups out of the smoke and the multiple teleports consistently. You can even do it after the one in the air. So it is really strong, and you need to have used this a lot of the time in your matches. It is really the big win condition for the character. She also gets out of the smoke a command grab. If you charge S2 again, it becomes a command grab, and it is a combo starter. Like, it's a full combo starter, really strong, and it can give you also a limit strike if you do S2 in the air again. Super good. And then the other thing is that with the smoke, the regular hit S2 is also a combo starter, okay? So really you need to maximize how many times you can get the smoke on the screen in neutral and also on your pressure. For example, you can use an assist to cover you up while you do charge S2 in neutral so that the smoke is in. You can also try to hit your regular S2, on the mid-range to kind of like use it as a poke so that you enable the smoke and then you get Oki out of it, stuff like that. And then you can also use your S1 super, because the ending of the S1 super puts the smoke on the screen. So for example, you can maybe do combos in which you use the S1 super in the middle to get the smoke as Oki and then get your pressure going after the combo, stuff like that. So it is just really important to understand that this is the win condition of the character, and to use your command grab, your charges to use your multiple teleports out of the smoke screen, right, canceling them into each other, and the regular hit S2. All the upgrades are really, really strong, and Akali is a much better character when the smoke is actually on the screen. Hey, wait a second, just in case that the video has been useful for you or you're learning something new, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to support the channel. I make a ton of different guides and content around fighting games in general. So thank you for your support, and now let's continue. Okay, so the third tip that we have to talk about is going to be kind of like team building around Akali, and the fact that I would argue she's a very assist-dependent character because her game plan overall needs a lot of cover. I would say there's a lot of interactions in which it is really good if you have a decent assist to cover you up, like throwing the smoke full screen, right? You can cover it with some sort of assist so that you don't get hit for free or you just lose neutral full screen with people running at you while you throw the smoke. Then the other thing is that a lot of her options up close are going to be much stronger if you have a good assist. Like for example, if you use your teleports, you can make them safe by using the assist, or you can create like double cross-up situations with it, right? Stuff like that. So it's going to be really important to have a good assist with Akali and just run her as your point character, because the other thing is that if you wanted, for example, to run Akali as your assist, she has some of the worst assists in the game. Her kunai assist, which is the regular one, you can see it has no range whatsoever. Like right here, we are kind of like on round start range, and the kunais don't hit at all. And you can see the last kunai on Yasuo's feet, and it doesn't have hitbox, so it's really weak. And if you get closer also and you actually get the hit, it has really low hit stun, so not strong whatsoever. And then also her other assist, which is an N tier, is just a very decent normal assist, but nothing special about it. So it is really kind of like for your best interest, if you want to play Akali, to play her as your point character, to have a good assist, and to never use her assist because they are some of the worst in the game. And the other thing related to this tip as well is that Akali has some interactions that are much stronger if you actually have an assist that has synergy with the character. So, for example, your regular S2, right? If you hit your S2, it gives you the smoke, and then you can get Oki and a mix-up, which is already good. But if you have an assist that is good with Akali and has synergy, you can get full combos out of this. And you can get the corner, right? You can get limit strike, much better than what you were doing before, and boom, you get the smoke again in the corner. So you need to kind of like lab and explore the characters that you like in the game and see if they have actual synergy with Akali, because it's going to be important to maximize her strengths as a character. I would say that, for example, Bai is also another character that is really good, because since Bai has actually a ground bounce with her assist, right, you can get even better interactions. So really, really strong, stuff like that. So don't be afraid to just kind of like look on the cast and see which characters can actually have a good assist to kind of like pair up with Akali. And well, for tip number 4, we're actually going to talk about combos, but it's not about the combos in itself, like the routes. It's about stuff related to combo routing with this character that you need to be aware of and use if you want to maximize the strengths of Akali as a character, okay? So the first thing, just like you saw there, let me show you again, is actually to use Limit Strike Oki as much as you can with this character, because when you use Limit Strike by the end of combos, you have time to set up the smoke and actually get mix-ups or combo routes and frame traps and things like that, right? So it's going to be really important to actually end up your combos with Akali as much as you can with Limit Strike to get the smoke up and get, your win condition, because at the end of the day, that's what makes Akali strong, right? So you can get stuff like this, cross-up mix-ups with assists and cover you up, right? Blah, blah, blah. So really, really important to kind of like get the Limit Strike combo routing going, because if you don't have combo routes that end with Limit Strike, you're kind of selling if you're playing this character, to be honest. Then the second thing related to the same tip about the combos is that Akali has some of the best corner carry in the game. And even though it is a little bit more advanced, I still wanted to add it because it is one of the strongest things about the character. And over time, if you can, you should learn a couple of combo routes that are like corner to corner with your team. You know, stuff like this is going to be really, really strong. It's going to give you good Oki, super high damage. You get the smoke up if you get limit strike in the same combo route. And it's really, really strong. You should not, ignore something like this, even though it is more advanced, because if your team has good synergy and you can get combos like this, you can get super high damage, really good mix-up opportunity without using any meter whatsoever. And it's always the corner. Like the outcome of your combo routes is always going to be the corner if you know stuff like this. So it's actually pretty strong. Okay, so we get to tip number 5, the last one in the video, and it's gonna be a new mix-up that is really important to use and understand, because we already went over as to why the smoke is so good, right? You get your cancelable teleports, which means cross-ups, high-low mix-up, stuff like that. Then also on the smoke, you have a new command grab that is a full combo launcher, really, really good. But you gotta remember that you also have double jumps with this character. And there are normals in this game that you do after jump-ins, like for example, jump H, or also jump down H, that are jump cancelable. And what that means is that every time that you're playing Akali and someone blocks a jump in from you, you actually can make the decision of just jumping in again and get a double overhead mix-up. And this is really strong. Like, this is gonna do a ton of damage if you hit it, and you can do a relatively, decent combo out of this and get limit strike, get the smoke up again. Really strong. Okay, so you need to add this into your options to open people up, because it means that every single time that someone blocks a jump in, they have to guess, are you just gonna do a low, or are you gonna jump in again with another jump and get another overhead that is gonna open them up and get a full combo out of it. So really strong and super important to add it into your offense. So that was the video, guys. I hope that it was useful and that it helped you to understand Akali as a character and get started with her and why she can be really strong. If it was actually useful, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to support the channel. I would really appreciate it. I cover a ton of different fighting games and I make a lot of guides like this. So thank you for your support and see you on the next one. Enjoy Akali, enjoy 2xKO, and take care.